What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Business Breakthrough. In today's episode, I sit down with Valentino and Leon as we discuss a pivotal moment in their business where they are deciding what to do next. They were on originally, I think about like 5 to 6 months ago, where they were deciding to become a partnership. Valentino owns a house painting business, and he wanted to branch off and set up a cabinet coating division for his best friend Leon. And things didn't turn out as planned, but that doesn't mean they're going to give up. We just created a new way for them to work together. And I think this way is a little bit better. So tune in today's Business Breakthrough. I think you're going to love it. And as always, thanks for listening to the Contractor Seekers Podcast. The big question you need to ask yourself every day is, do I own a job or do I own a business? And unfortunately, the majority of contractors out there own a job. That's right. They're a slave to their own business. But the other side of the fence is so much greener. It's so much better. And that's when you're finally fully in control of your destiny, your freedom, your time. And that's what Contractor Secrets is about. It's about taking back our time, building a business with systems, standards, values, procedures, putting yourself in the driver's seat. And that's what it's about. So I'm excited. I'm happy to have you here. Let's dive into the Contractor Secrets podcast. All right. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Business Breakthrough. I'm here with Valentino, and he, again, brought on his business partner. Tell me your name again, man. I'm sorry. Leon. That's right. Leon and Valentino. Insta Painting, Insta Cabinets, two brands, one mission. What's up, guys? What's happened, man? So where do we stand? Valentino, last time we talked, you owned a pressure washing company. Do you still own and operate that?
Leon.
Oh yeah, yes.
Leon did.
Leon. Yeah. I had the pressure cleaning company. We kind of put it on pause to focus on the cabinets. But you know, we're reaching out to you because we just have some other ideas. We're trying to take kind of a different direction because we've practiced already the cabinets because of our, Valentino can explain to you what's going on with the cabinets at the moment, but we had to put that on pause because the shop that we have now, we're not, let's just say, in other lack of better words, we can't do any painting because we don't have a painting booth to paint cabinets. So it's been brought up to our attention by the property manager that we're not allowed to do that unless we move to a different shop. So right now, we have to put it on pause. So one of my ideas, go ahead.
So where are you guys painting these cabinets at? Like, what is it? It's like
it's a warehouse. No, it's an actual warehouse. Yeah. But just painting, we were doing a lot of painting, a lot of spraying, and, you know, a couple people complained. Yeah,
correct.
And it's not zoned. Excuse me. The area is not zoned to, you know, to have a spray, to be able to put.
Did you guys have this place before you started doing these cabinets, or was this something that you leased with the idea that you were going to do cabinets?
No, we had another place was smaller, and then this place opened up, and we took over that was a bigger place. Now we're running into that problem, and but it's not just that. That's like the main thing that's stopping us. Because we don't want to get in trouble with the city, you know. It's not, we don't want to do it that way. And
sure.
and cabinets is not easy, you know. Cabinets is definitely something that, you know, people want perfection, you know. It's a lot of going back.
And that's where most of their lights are in their house, is in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So you know, any freaking anything.
Like you can hear, I see a little bubble. And they want us to come back.
Redo the whole door.
Redo the whole door.
And you can't just take a brush and, you know, like a wall. You know.
No. That's why. Why do you think I don't touch them?
Exactly. Yeah, I know.
So I mean, Alex.
Right, so go ahead, Leon. Go ahead.
Alex did bring it to our attention. He goes, "You will see the more you get involved, how tedious this job can be. It can either make you or break you." So, and now we see the more kitchens we were doing, we can see how tedious this thing could be.
Got it.
Unless we had a guy that we could rely on that you know, does the perfection job, but it's almost nearly to impossible. I mean, we ran into a few clients where we was just like, oh my God, what were we thinking?
Pulling your hair out, just like the worst.
And we have good guys too.
We do.
they're also like stressed
They
out.
get stressed out, they get frustrated. So, and we can
Right.
understand their frustration. So to dive
Absolutely.
into, I mentioned to bring you to your attention to pick your brain. I was mentioning just last week to Valentino. I said, listen, I really think my heart is where we need to implement pressure cleaning because it goes hand in hand with painting. You're in the painting business, you get a lot of requests, I'm sure, about pressure cleaning from time to time. I'm sure. So I mentioned that's what my strength is in pressure cleaning because I'm very knowledgeable when it comes to that. And I think we could be a very profitable company. So I brought it to his attention. How can we implement pressure cleaning with painting? So I
Well,
wanted to.
it's all about the mindset, right? And I think Valentino, when you started this, the goal was to say, okay, how can we branch out from what we're doing? How can I get Leon? I know you guys are real close friends. How can you get Leon involved? And the initial thought was, how can I get Leon involved in this? Let's talk about pressure cleaning for a second. I
Sure.
remember when you think pressure cleaning, you think you actually doing the work, 100%. That is what it was early on, and that scares me because again, we got to come from a business owner mentality here, and it's the same thing with cabinets. The cabinet system needs to be, how do I find the right people to do this work if I'm going to be successful?
That's correct.
Right? I mean, were you doing the work? Were you spraying the cabinets, Leon?
No, no, neither was
Okay.
Valentino.
Well, okay. So what was your role when you guys were doing the cabinets?
Bringing in the right staff to do the job.
Well,
No,
estimates.
like
Or
what
estimate.
was your daily response?
Oh,
Oh,
what was
you were
my
doing the
estimate?
estimates and the sales.
Correct.
Got it. Okay. Project
Correct.
management, stuff like that. Cool.
Correct.
So you already, you already developed that muscle, probably out of necessity because you don't really know how to do those cabinets. So it
Correct.
was like that was where you fit best. With
Correct.
pressure cleaning scares the heck out of me, dude, because the thing about it is that you know how to do it, you want to do it, you will do it, and that's going to take away from the ultimate goal. Reality of the situation is pressure cleaning's low hanging fruit, man. It's a different sales experience than what you're giving when you sell these cabinets. It's not prestigious. It's one of these things that you're a maintenance. You have Valentino who's operating a luxury service, and then you're trying to create an equal, but that's a maintenance service. They're two different systems,
That's
right?
true.
That
That's
doesn't
true.
complement each other in any way. Just because a house needs to be pressure washed before it gets painted doesn't mean that these businesses are synonymous. It just means that they go hand in hand in a certain aspect, right?
Correct. That's
Here's the
true.
reality, guys. When we think of this, I honestly believe that that's just going to slow you down. I know Valentino's not excited about that. There's no way he would be. I wouldn't be, because I know, number one, what are the margins on this? You're going to do maintenance house washing at 150 a house. You're competing against homeowners, and you're competing against other people that'll do it for 80. Okay, so you already you're wasting time there. He's not doing enough volume to keep your system going every day. There's no way he does that, because he also does interior painting. He can't. Well, you're worthless on an interior job, right? Like there's nothing you could do. So all that said, guys, get rid of that. In my personal opinion, it's just going to take you away from what you could accomplish. Because Valentino, what you have here in Leon is someone you trust. What you really should do is create another branch of Insta painting, and you guys should just be the best house painters here. I mean, the reality of the situation is right now, Valentino, you've hit a capacity on what you can manage yourself. Okay. Reality of the situation is Leon needs to be in control of the whole operation of project management, where you at this point, Valentino, are operating in terms of a sales and marketing role in the company. Right. And could it start with a salary for you, Leon? Yes. Could it eventually turn into maybe a percentage, or maybe your own branch at some point? It could. That could be and I think we should be very clear on that in the beginning, so you're not led astray.
Sure.
You know
Sure.
what I'm
No, no,
saying?
it's funny that you say that, Tanner. I'm glad you. Thank you for that. Because originally, he has brought me on board to Insta Painting. One of the things I'm very transparent with him too. I say, look, I don't know anything about painting. I know I would have to learn. I have to shadow him. I would be his shadow basically, and learn everything about painting, because that the ultimate goal was to branch. It is to branch out, because I'm in Palm Beach, and I know for him it would be a little bit far out. So the goal is to branch out to Palm Beach where
you have a duplicate here, Valentino, a duplicate. Like the problem with a lot of people when it comes to growth is they don't have this guy. They don't have somebody that's representing them internally. Like, man, you don't go to work for Instapainting, Leon. You go to work because you love Valentino. It's your guy, man. So like for me, Valentino, your job as a leader is, and this is a leader's number one responsibility, is to cultivate leadership, put people in positions to exercise their gifts. That's it. That is a leader's role. That is what the best leaders in the world do, is they look at talent and they put that talent where that talent can grow and thrive, right? So you have someone here that you can easily create another version of what you do, another version of yourself. There's nothing that you can't learn, Leon, when it comes to painting. The stress level from where you were to painting drops about 80 nodules. Okay. I mean, seriously, with cabinets versus house painting, I mean, Valentino probably hasn't told you any stressful situations since you met him about a house painting thing that he couldn't fix himself.
True.
That's just the reality of it. That's why I love it. I don't deal with anything. If worst case, I could go in and fix it myself. I don't have to redo a whole job to fix it. Anyway, so reality situation is, Valentino, let's talk where you are in your, let's call your branch here. Okay. How many employees do you have?
Right now, we have 10 employees.
You have 10 employees. Okay.
Plus the office admin, and myself.
Plus the office admin. Okay. Let's talk about that. All right. With your 10 employees, what is your weekly revenue in terms of produced work? How much money is being produced in house painting? Okay. In house painting. Yeah. And I assume you guys don't have any more cabinet jobs coming up, right? You guys are done with that, right?
Not at the moment. No.
Good. Then let's forget that ever existed. Let's go back to the house painting. So what's the produced revenue with the 10 guys, and how are you breaking up the teams?
So right now, we're more or less around 50 to 60,000, and we're breaking the teams into teams of 3, and I have 3 teams. So with
50
Leon,
grand a week, or a month?
Well, I was just looking that up on Dripjobs actually.
Okay.
And per week, it said it was 50 to 60 grand. So I was going by that number because
that's the sale. That's what you're doing in sales, which is good.
Right.
I don't care. No one cares about sales, because I could sell 100 million. If I can't produce it, it's worthless.
Okay.
That's how we value your company. So we want to know what are you scheduling in a week's time? How much money is produced from Monday to Friday? Do you know?
Okay. Okay. I was looking at that number. So I didn't look at that other number to just give you a like up to date,
based off of 10, I'm going to tell you what it should be.
But
it should be between 17 and 22,000.
Yeah, I was going to say at least 20,000. Out easy.
Okay, at least 20 grand. Perfect. Yeah. Okay. So what you have to do, this is what you need to do. And this is what I suggest that you do. Right now, your job, you guys are in what I like to call the refinement stage, man. Like, you guys have to really refine your processes. If you're going to bring in a partner, think of Leon as a business investor, and he's coming into Instapainting actually wanting to invest in you franchising him his own branch. You're not going to franchise, you're just doing a branch, like kind of how your banks have branches all over the place. Sherwin-Williams has branches all over the place. What do branches have in common? Consistency. They have systems, procedures, roles, standards, the whole 9. Okay. So you're breaking it up in teams of 3, right? And you said you have 11 employees. Is there a team of 4?
Excuse me. No, well,
or is there 9 painters?
9 painters and then plus Leon.
Okay, plus Leon. Okay. So let's talk about the first thing we need to discuss is the hierarchy of how your business is built. Okay. So let's talk about your best team, right? You have a leader on that team. What's their name?
JC.
JC. Okay. So JC has 2 painters underneath him, correct? And they work independently. You don't have to worry about them, right?
Yeah, I have a painter and a helper in his team.
Painter and a helper. All right. So I'll call him, B and C. All right. The next crew leader, what's his name?
Ivan.
Okay. Ivan. All right. And he has 2 painters underneath him, a painter and a helper, right?
Correct.
Okay. Now, I assume, Leon, you've been filling in on this third crew, correct?
Yeah, well, wherever he needs me, he kind of puts me in.
Yeah, so
I'm just talking, let's just keep,
I actually have
okay.
a project manager in training, and then another two guys under him. And then, like I said, I have Leon because I know it's pretty funny or interesting that you're saying all this, because that's what we had already talked about before we started, thinking about pressure cleaning. But I had brought Leon because just so you know, real quick, what happened was he was working a full-time job for the city, and he'd been there for 20 years. Long story short, he's not there anymore.
He quit. That's great.
Yeah.
Let's just say
Congrats.
he's not there anymore.
But pressure's on. I mean, he wouldn't have done that had you not given him an opportunity. And Valentino, I know this is stressful. I know. Let's be honest here. This is stressful. There's a lot of pressure on you. You got to make room for Leon. The business didn't work out right now with what the plan was to generate all this new income over here on the cabinet side. But the thing about it is that you guys didn't hire specific people just for cabinet painting. You utilized the same resources to do cabinets, right?
They were training too, I mean, so
they were training, and it was taking away from the painting, and you guys were growing wide. You didn't bring, you think you created new revenue, but you didn't. You just deviated from the original revenue that you could have been creating in the house painting because you were taking away your resources. So you would have house painting jobs that you'd have to schedule further out because the cabinet jobs had to be done. And is this all that would happen?
Yes, basically.
Pretty much, right?
Well, yeah, I took
some guys from
Insta Painting, and
right. But all I'm saying is that if Sherwin-Williams has two branches and they had to pull people from one branch to the other branch and then move them back to the other branch, there's going to be customers waiting that aren't going to be able to be serviced.
Absolutely.
That's what occurred. So the strategy initially was wrong. 100% wrong. You should have never touched Insta Painting. If you were creating Insta cabinets, you should have never touched Insta Painting. Otherwise, you shouldn't have created Insta cabinets, and you should have just done cabinets on the side under Insta Painting. But then again, you're shooting yourself in the foot because you have a very successful painting business. Right. Yeah. And the guys were getting frustrated because they like to paint houses. They probably don't want to do cabinets. They're not cabinet painters, man. Who the heck, you just got to understand the dynamic and the pressure on top of that of you wanting the jobs done at a certain time and the touch-ups to having to go back. Chaos. Learn from it. Forget about it. Here's what needs to happen. Okay. So you have I'm just trying to understand the hierarchy of your company here. You have three crews. JC's the leader of one, Ivan's the leader of two, and who's the third leader of the third crew who's in training? What's their name?
You there?
Yeah, I see you guys. Just lost you for a second. What's that crew leader's name?
Javier.
Okay, and he has two painters underneath him, correct?
Right.
Okay, and then all right, so now we have Leon here, okay? Leon,
yes.
You do not need to learn how to paint. You shouldn't have paint on you. It's a waste of time.
That's why he's been tough. He says, hey, you got to go in there with
Valentino. He's not going to be a painter.
Just for basic experience. That's all. He can
watch YouTube videos. You need to create a supervisor here. Okay. And Valentino, this is going to be uncomfortable for you because you're like, okay, well, what do I do throughout the day? Right. That's hard to justify. Right. But you got to know what the end goal is, bro. The end goal is that Leon needs to manage his own team of three. That's where we should get to, is that you need to make 3 new hires. Okay. 3 new hires. Okay. And you're going to create a branch where you are now. Okay. And you're going to test out this model before you send him to West Palm Beach and he's got to do it on an island. Right. So you, first of all, Valentino, again, your responsibility is to create this structure for him to go through to where if something happened to you and you were in the hospital for 2 weeks, this is how we got to think. Sure. Leon's got it. And if there's things that you know how to do that Leon doesn't know how to do on a management perspective, then that's an issue. That's how we have to think. If there's things that you say, I got it, I'll handle it, and he doesn't know how to do that, then that's what you need to teach. He doesn't need to learn how to cut, roll, tape. He needs to learn how to manage a business. You're going to actually treat this as if you're selling him your business. And if you had an investor come, yeah, you'd give him some on-the-job training. If you guys did job check-ins, you'd say, hey, Leon, let me show you real quick how we want the guys to roll. Let me show you real quick how we want the guys to tape and caulk. Let me show you how to sand this out and teach, right? This is what you're going to be showing him when you're doing job site visits, right? But you're not putting him on a job all day thinking, hey, he's going to learn. That's not what he needs to learn anyway. That's a role that he's going to be hiring for. So at the very least, he just needs to learn who he needs to hire, right? He's going to learn that and pick it up. But you guys got to have a plan each day. And I think that Valentino, yes or no, with these 3 crews, are you busy all day without having to go paint?
Yes.
Follow-up calls, job site visits. Are you picking up the paint?
No, not anymore. Thank God.
Good. You have the guys go pick up the paint.
Yes. Yeah.
Perfect. Scheduling, communicating with customers.
I'm doing still a lot of
estimates,
which I wanted Leon to help
okay.
with estimates too.
Right. You know? So he needs to be alongside you for the next month. I mean, month. And you're going to pay him to do that, where he knows management, he knows job timing. He starts communicating with the guys, and the guys start to see him as the general manager, and you're the owner. So your blessing out of all this is that you actually will feel what it feels like to be free from your business, where Leon now comes in, okay, and he starts running your business for you. Okay. How do we justify that expense? Because it's going to cost you. Leon, you should be getting about 40 to 50 grand salary for this role over the course of a year once you're fully utilized. That's what it comes down to, right? Yeah. Okay. But we got to justify that salary by hiring another crew of 3, Valentino. Another crew of 3 should generate between 6,000 and 8,000 in a week. Okay. In produced income. That means that at the end of the day, at a 30% margin, okay, you should be about 3 grand profit every week, which is going to cover the cost of his salary and offset the expense here. Okay. But learn how to run the 3 crews to perfection. You're not going to make as much money this month, Valentino, and be okay with that. It's an investment in your free time. What does that allow you to do? Let's say we get this ball rolling where you guys are pumping out 4 crews of 3. You know, you're doing estimates almost all day, Leon, and you're checking in with your team. You got Valentino here to help you, and this thing's rocking and rolling. Now you might say, Valentino, you might say, you know what? I'm going to give him a raise and he's going to run it. I'm free. I can go do what I want. I can start another branch or freaking do it again. Add another 3. You know, the market's there. It's there. You could either send him away to West Palm Beach and have a branch done there, or you could just service your radius, man. And now you have a general manager in place that's happy with the salary he's making. Then you can invest in benefits. You can start getting health insurance for your team, start doing all these things that you probably want to do. Okay. But you can't do because you're so tied into the processes every day. You need to replace yourself. It's time. And there's no better replacement in the world than this guy here.
Yeah. I agree.
That's key.
That's what I want.
Well, Tanner, that's why I said, let's talk to Tanner. This man knows his thing, man. I said, let's get Tanner involved because we need some outsider in advisors. And I'm so everything you said was like right on target.
Right on the money.
Right on the money. Right on the money.
But the thing is also, like, just so you know, we're just to kind of catch up to speed real quick. Like, he's already on payroll. I have Leon already on payroll. Right. My plan, I should say, was to get him to do some hands-on training, which has already been a few weeks. I think I want him to start doing now is going out to the estimates, take over all the estimates, and I'll structure the estimates, you know, here at the office. So my job's going to be now more office, not field.
Yeah. So you're doing what I'm doing. So essentially what you need to create, but I think that how many house painting estimates have you went with Valentino? How many have you done with him?
At least 10. I would say at least 10.
At least about 10. As far as,
and when you're doing that, Valentino, is he just shadowing you, or are you observing him?
He's been doing a lot of shadowing, and I've been letting him slowly, kind of
Okay, so
practice.
you're teaching him pricing on the spot and stuff like that.
Correct.
Not yet. I'm teaching him.
Okay, we want to get to that point. We want to get to that point at some point where he's actually doing the pricing. And for now, it's good for you to not do it. Essentially a good system right now for you, Leon, is to go there, introduce yourself, talk about the business, be presentable, and you're uploading information to however he wants the information received. You use Trello. That's what we use to just send a bunch of pictures and have an area for it to be accessible. And then, and then it's important that, you at least sit with him, and then he gives you the ability to go through these interactions at least for another week or so, to where like Valentino's not butting in. He should get to a point where he doesn't have to talk and they think he's the helper, or that's at least where I would feel it'd be most comfortable for you to let go of that, because Valentino, that this is the most important part of your business, is making sure that that's your one shot at business, is making sure that the person that's there is knowledgeable, is answering the questions that come up, that has a structured sales, system. So, just kind of keep that in mind, don't kind of just let him out on his own yet. Cause, and then also you can pick up the phone in the office. I do that too. Even though I send Chris out to go do estimates, I'm on the phone thanking them and just giving them a little bit of my personality, letting them know the quote's on the way, that sort of thing. So you can still be involved in that regard.
Okay. Yeah. Now that's kind of like that's kind of like our plan. But then, Leon was like, "Hey, what about Christian?" And I was like, "Well, at first I was like, well, maybe not. We should wait. Let's focus on what we're doing and branching out, by next year."
Yeah.
And then Leon was like, "Well, it's a lot
Valentino,
of money."
But the problem is, Leon, if you do pressure washing, you're going to be on an island, dude. You guys are going to be on two totally different planes.
Right.
It's another business. But why, instead of separating and splitting your efforts and to start another business where you're going to make 40 to 50 grand, maybe, if you bust your butt for the whole year, when you can join with Valentino, have someone to work with, build a stronger business that's already on a rocket ship. You're just maintaining it and making it faster, and make the same amount of money, if not more, if we see success. Valentino, go ahead.
I agree with you. I was only mentioning pressure cleaning to subsidize you just mentioned 40, 50,000. It's basically what he's paying me to ride with him, shadow him. But then I'm like, okay, I need to make a little bit more. So let's bring pressure cleaning so we can bring up our revenue. But I agree 100%. That's why I brought, I mentioned, let's get Tanner, let's pick his brain to see. Right now we're just brainstorming. But basically what you mentioned, we've been practicing that. That's definitely where we're aiming to do. And I just mentioned pressure.
Guys, one more crew of 3. Like I said, I think you got to create this timeline, Valentino. I think we should get to the end of the year, okay, with these three crews where you feel confident to know that Leon's got it by the end of December. I think that's a good metric to go off of. January 1 is where you guys begin hiring the other third crew. Okay. Valentino, maxing out with these 4 crews, you should get between 1.1 and 1.3 million in a year of revenue, and that's going to be more than enough to maybe even look at benefits after you set up Leon, because that's a deduction. It'd be great for your team, give you even more leverage when you're hiring. You're probably the only painting company that's going to be offering benefits in your area at that point. So now you're going to acquire. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Now you're going to acquire even better talent. And these companies are doing it, man. These companies are hitting these levels. Somebody's going to paint the houses. They're going to need to be painted. It's a matter of how much production can you guys create to satisfy the demand. And I already know, Valentino, you're going to market. So the more jobs you need, the more money you spend on marketing, but it comes full circle. If you can't produce the job. So 3 crews, finish it out the year. By February 1, you should have a 4th crew running of 3, and then sustain that for the whole year. Don't change anything for the whole year, 2022. I think that's the best plan for you guys. Because here's the thing. Think about it this way. Ready? I'm just going to bridge this all together. You guys, if you did the cabinet thing the way that you should have done it, Valentino, you wouldn't have messed with your painting business. You would have had 3 crews. Well, Leon,
you would have had another couple guys running the cabinet side. There's your fourth crew anyway. But instead of doing totally different things, you're just going to be doing one of the same thing and getting better and better and better and better and better at it, and just being the best at it. Because all the other painting companies usually do exactly what you guys try to do. They take cabinets, they take staining, they take epoxy, dude, just take interior and exterior painting and you'll never be stressed. Somebody's got to take it, make it you.
Yeah. Now, at what point would you say would be a good idea on that timeline to branch out?
I mean, you're going to have a decision to make, because at that point, you're going to have 4 solid crews running, Valentino. And if Leon leaves, you got to go back to running it. And if you're okay with that,
have a replacement.
I
have to have a replacement.
You'd have to find a replacement. Yeah, you would have to find a replacement for Leon. And then Leon would have to start from scratch over there. And he's not going to be on an island by himself. You're probably going to be with him. So you could do it. Just think about who's going to be replacing Leon in that role, which could take about a year to figure out. Maybe there's somebody in your business now that could be somebody that could move up the ladder. And that's how the best businesses operate, is they grow from within. You know what I'm saying? So, again, just it's always about anticipation. Valentino, you're the leader. You've got to anticipate all these scenarios and think how it's going to affect your business. Personally, I think he should be with you for an entire year managing and running those 4 crews. Guys, this is a lifetime strategy here. This is what is going to take you guys to retirement. You guys can grow Instant Painting to be a Florida-wide freaking company. Maybe they'll be in Ocala and compete with me. I would love that. I think that would be fun. But you guys would have to sign an agreement that you have to use Dripjobs for all the branches. So
it's already signed.
It's already signed.
I
want my hat.
So I got to get you a hat. So, man, look, guys, I believe in 2 minds are greater than one. Valentino, I'm just preparing you for what you're going to go through. Number one, you're not going to make as much money until you get that 4th crew up. Be okay with it, because this is the investment side of being a business owner, is investing early in a great person, getting a greater return later on for that investment that you make. And you have somebody to bounce ideas off all day. Someone's got your back. You need to get everything that's in this brain of yours about how your business runs on paper.
Yeah.
Standard operating procedure. I would put that on Leon. I would say, look, man, this week I want the interior standard operating procedure written out about exactly how we do interior painting. Make that, and that's a great way for you, Leon, to ask questions with the guys and figure out, okay, what's the process on a full interior? What's the process on a walls only interior? What's the process on a ceiling and walls interior? What's the process on a trim only job where we're only doing doors? How do we paint doors? Okay. Setting up an inventory system. What inventory system do you guys have? These things are what you need before you can even think about putting another branch together. Get this whole thing buttoned up. Job costing. We should definitely be thinking about job costing, really knowing your numbers. Valentino, little concerning that you don't know your produced value off the top of your head every single week. That should be a number that you write at the top of your door and tap it on the way out, because that is a metric that helps you understand how strong your business really is. Again, sales is one thing. Produced value is another. I could sell $100 million. If I can only produce $1 million of it, then, it's not as great as 100 million. So it's important to know these numbers, bro.
Oh, 100%. And I think that, like you said, bringing in Leon is going to help me to be able to focus on the business side.
But you have got to give Leon you always got to be one step ahead of Leon. He can't be waiting for the next thing to do. Right? Like, that's part of what your job is going to be. Once you're in the office, you're not going to be sitting there. You're going to be creating things for him to build and work on. Inventory. Okay. Create an inventory system. And then your project managers are responsible to count it. Then they turn in that inventory system, however you set it up, to Leon, and he verifies it. And then he goes and looks inside of the Sherwin-Williams logs to make sure that nobody bought supplies that they shouldn't have bought, or maybe make sure that the job costing is put in the right way. Like, these are things that if you don't do now, they're going to bite you in the butt later. Like, this is the foundation of your business, right? Like, so you got to always be one step ahead of him in terms of making sure he always has something to do and he's not waiting and he knows exactly what his role and responsibility is as a supervisor. It's going to be hard because you have been doing it for the last however long and you had no one to answer to. So there's things by nature, me included, that you have just been doing that have been cutting corners because no one's been, it's whatever. It's just your job. Like me too. I don't trust me. I'm not perfect. I'm just saying that if no one's holding me accountable, then there's things I'm going to cut corners on because I'm tired or a little bit lazy or just like, I don't need to log this or track this. Now that you have a business partner here, I'm using quotations. He needs to feel as though everything is structured in alignment. So he feels safe in your business, right? Yeah. And he feels structured and that he made a good move, leaving his structured job. If it's not there, Leon, create the structure, help him create it. That's the fun part. So when you guys are ready and all this is done and you have job costing down, you have an inventory system down, you have payroll down, you understand job costing, you understand your numbers, you know where your metrics are, you know how much revenue a 3-man crew should bring in. You can identify where raises should be, maybe even bonuses. When you guys do this for an entire year, that's when Leon and Valentino, you guys can sit together and say, okay, we're ready to branch off. So when you branch off, you're going to say, okay, we need a $20 an hour guy with this skill set. We need a $15 an hour guy with this skill set. We need a $12 an hour guy with this skill set. And this is going to generate us this much. In 3 months, they should be able to crank out their own work. Then in another 3 months, we should get that second crew running. That's how you explode. That mentality.
Wow.
That's exactly what we're
That's powerful. That's powerful, man.
I have one last question because I think this is really, really, really important, especially for Leon. As you mentioned, this is going to cost me, right? I'm not going to make as much money, which I understand and I'm okay with because it's an investment in Leon, which later is going to give me a return, right? For Leon, though, he has his own expenses. He has his own, things, personal things he has to pay and everything else. So what I can offer him, which is about what you said, and he's already on payroll. If that's not enough for him, how can I implement or how can I add more to that?
Leon, in the same way, you've got to recognize that he's making an investment in you. You've got to understand where it comes from your perspective too, and you're making an investment in him by not making luxury income. As long as you can cover your expenses, you guys are in a startup right now. This is how startup culture works, where the two people that are trying to build this thing to be something great have to sacrifice and compromise. Yes. You know that he's going to give you what he can. Like you might not have vacation money or bonus spending money this year, but guess what? You will. You will, and it's important. It's important though for you to understand, and have these tough money conversations early. If you guys can get money transparency out of the way, there'll be nothing that can attack you. Okay. Money comes from, everyone has different feelings about money. If we can put money behind us and be purpose driven in all that we do, whether that's through estimating with our customers and giving bonuses and raises to our team. And Valentino's got a good heart. So if he can give it, he will. But the reality of the situation is we do need to be strategic. We need to say, okay, so at this point in time, when we look at the goal, where will Leon be in March? What can we expect if we hit that goal, right? When we get those 4 crews running, what does that salary then look like? Leon, at this point, I think it's just as important for you. And not many people do this. So maybe you've done it, maybe you haven't. You need to outline all of your expenses in your household. You need to do that. You need to write it all down. Exactly how much money you actually really do need to survive. Right. And you know what? If you haven't done that, you might be surprised and say, okay, actually, this does cover it. I could save some and I can be good because I know that at this milestone that we hit, I'm going to be here and I'm going to be right where I need to be. If you guys have that transparency, it's going to take the pressure and stress off of Valentino, because as a good person, he's probably concerned about the fact that he brought you on, the plan didn't work. You have your own bills. I know you're mentioning it and it's adding stress, and it's okay. It's natural, but you got to be on the same page in terms of what the goal is. So nobody has to talk about it or stress about it because we can all defer to the goal, right? Sure. It's like, hey, remember in March, man, that's our goal. We got to get that 4th crew up in March. I can give you this much at that time because they're going to be producing that much. Correct. Right. So that's why it's important to identify those milestones. So it takes away that uncertainty that you have. Like, oh, I don't know if this is going to last, or I don't know what the plan is. It's about, and Valentino as the CEO, what do CEOs do, man? They have to create the vision. And if you're not actively focused on the vision, like I'm giving you today, I'm sparking your vision. I'm helping you set you in a new direction. You've got to build it now. You've got to say, okay, you got to make it tangible and real. And if you don't do that, guys, we're going to be in the same position and it's not going to be pretty in about 6 months. If you guys do not do this, here's what's going to happen. Leon, you're going to get frustrated. Your bills are going to start mounting up. You're not going to feel like you're progressing.
Sure.
And chances are, guys, you guys are probably really good friends. It'll never be the same. Don't let that happen. Okay. Please. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. And Valentino, it really comes down to your ability to outline a vision and to be hard-nosed in making sure that vision comes to life.
Yeah.
You know, and the goal ultimately is you have an immaculate business that takes care of your whole family. Same with you, Leon. And you guys are providing an amazing service to your customers and you're happy, you know. So this is survival mode, guys. We're in the red zone right now. You know, I hate to say that, but we are, you know, we are. We need a fourth crew. We need a fourth crew by February 1. And Leon, you need to be running this business without Valentino present up until that point.
I agree. Well, we were heading in that direction. So, just so you know, we were leaning towards that direction. Yeah. So
good.
We're right there. We're right there. Because everything you mentioned, you're hitting right the target. Confirmed and added more. And reassure us that, you know, what we had envisioned, we're heading in the same direction.
And that helps, you know.
Yeah. And we communicate great. That's the thing. We're him and I are in the same path of what we want and what we want, where we want to go. Yeah. And you just pretty much certified what we've been talking about.
Let's recap, man. I got to recap this so you guys can just at least you know, we talked about a lot. Number one, we need standard operating procedures about how you guys do your work. Leon, I think that should be your role and responsibility to provide an outline, type it up, give it to Valentino. Valentino, once you approve it, you put your logo on the top of it and you put it in a Google Drive folder and you hand it out to your team. You print it out and say, guys, this is how we're going to do it. We need to create consistency. Number two, we got to have an inventory. Okay. We got to understand what's coming in and what's going out, guys. We can't have a business without an inventory. Number three, job costing. I have a job. I just actually redid my job costing spreadsheet. I'll give you guys. It's really good. So I'll give, it'll make it easy so you guys can job cost your jobs. Man, that'll save you a bunch of time. You don't have to make it. And if anybody listening wants it, reach out to me and I'll give it to you. All right. So job costing spreadsheet. Okay. So we have standard operating procedure, inventory, job costing. Okay. So those three things are what we need to take care of on the back end first. You know, number four, and this is the last point I'm going to give you guys is just Valentino. This one's on you, man. Those three things he can work on because he's now the general manager, right? These are roles that you would give to a general manager if they came in. Is standard operating procedure, inventory, job costing. And number four, Valentino, is all yours, man. It's outlining the milestones and the vision and then relaying that. You know, companies do this on an annual board meeting, right? You guys, even though we're small companies, we can still operate with big company principles. Typically, you'll hear corporations do an annual board meeting where they outline the vision for the year of what their milestones are financially, you know, plans of growth and all this stuff. Right now, picture yourself as board members. Sit down, line up the vision, Valentino. Put down how you want this to go. So when everyone's on the same page, you guys can hit that goal together and make sure that we're outlining what salary is going to be allocated at what time for Leon. So he's not concerned about money. You know, you guys are two great guys. You're never going to have a problem with money if you put the system together the right way. You know, you guys will be one of the heavy hitters in the country. You could really take over and really create something special.
Thank you.
So
I appreciate it, Tanner. Thank you for your time, brother. So, I'm so glad
guys.
I said, you know, let's bring somebody in the outside, and I'm glad that you were able to shine some light to us. And this is really helpful for us to understand.
I'm excited for you, man. I didn't think you were going to quit your job last time.
It was time. It was time. It was time. God brought me here. So amen to that. So thank you so much for your time.
God bless you guys.
Revisit with you, and you know, I don't know, maybe after the holidays and tell you where we're at.
Maybe after we get.
Well, I think the best thing you could do is let me know once that fourth crew is rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
Because that's
Absolutely.
what we're going to need to do.
That's
You
the
know, I
game.
think, and
That's the game plan.
hey, you know what? You guys might have a bolt of confidence after this, and you might want to start bringing in maybe one person now and throw them in with your crews to see how they work. Like, you don't have to wait. You know, if you feel as though, hey, this is the plan, let's do it. Let's see who's ready. People are looking for jobs right now. I mean, it's the best time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Valentino, I mean, you know, and I would ask, you know, I would ask your guys who they know, if they know anyone that
Oh, yeah.
that would like to come aboard. Don't be afraid right now to hire. But Valentino, listen, the idea is sometimes we're like, oh, can I afford this right now?
Yeah.
Until that crew is up and running, no, you can't. But that's okay. Remember, everything that you're doing right now as the business owner, you're putting money back into the business, right? Even if you hire right now, Valentino, you're like, damn, I don't know if I can cover this payroll. Don't worry about it because they're not producing anything yet. They're just training with your team. Eventually, they will be a income producing asset to your business, but you have to build it first. So like in the beginning, you're going to make 2 hires and they might just be training with your teams. And you're going to be like, how am I going to afford him, and Leon? Don't worry about it. Just know that the end goal is for them to be producing their own income. Okay.
How much time do we have tonight? I know you're on the time limit. Do you
I
have?
got 9 minutes, and then I got to take my daughter. I got to take my daughter to a play date.
Oh, okay. I'll make it short and sweet. One of the
She's not gonna be happy, man. So hurry up. No, I'm kidding.
I know. I got 2 kids. I know.
Yeah.
One of the things that Valentino brought to my attention, and I respect, he's got guys already in the crew that have been devoted, given their time, and they also want to grow with the company. But one of the things he brought to my attention, and I labeled it differently so nobody gets offended. I told him, call me your assistant. But one of the things that he said was, and as a value, I take that as a very valuable point. His guys will be like, well, Leon just got here, and how has he got that role when we've been working for you for X amount of years? And what's up with us? So there, so he doesn't want them feeling some certain type of way when they feel like, well, damn, this guy just came aboard.
Because we're too deep into this without. And Valentino, again, I have to put the blame on you so you can make the switch here. You haven't done a solid enough job of creating a hierarchy of growth. Okay. Because people that are in your business have never achieved anything, even though you may have think they had by giving them the project manager role. You haven't really done it in a way that you've labeled these roles. So when people move up, they feel as though they're hitting a milestone. So you might have project managers that have been running your crews for the last 3 years and haven't felt that feeling of growth because maybe they were a crew leader. And then one day you were just like, hey, I need you to run the job. And it wasn't like a thing, where that running the job is like, hey man, congratulations. You're officially a project manager, and that's something that you're always going to run into with just people who want to grow. And that's a good thing that you want people to grow. I think that it really should require a team meeting and again, like this is important, like having a team meeting. You're not the assistant. Don't give false hope here. I mean, that's the worst thing that you could do is create a false narrative about what your role really is. And I think Valentino, your ability as a leader to say, listen, everyone, I understand that you might see Leon as somebody coming in here and, you're thinking, well, how come Leon gets to come here? Put it out on the front burner, dude, and say, listen, I trust Leon to help us all get to where we need to be as a company. Here's my vision. Leon needs to take over my role because he has customer service and sales experience, everyone. And we need to make sure that everyone here is going to stay busy. Okay. That's why he is coming in here. And I know that there's been some confusion about what his role is, but I need someone to take on that role so we can get to a point where I can be a better boss and leader for you guys, where I can focus on getting health insurance and benefits, creating a different pay structure, maybe elevating our business and our brand. Right now, everyone is where they should be because of the gifts that you all have. And Leon is being brought in for the gifts that he has and the gifts that we need right now, which is sales and management experience. Okay. And I don't want anyone to feel offended, but we're really trying to grow this company, create it, and it's all about how you say it and how you convey it. And it might not come out just like that, but that's what I would do. And I think it's important to understand that we need to really say, hey, Leon's got, and you do, it's not a lie, Leon. I mean, were you selling your own, you're doing, I mean, that's, he's replacing you. Valentino, and your role right now is sales and management, and say, as we grow, there will be more positions that open up, but this is the first step. So Valentino, you're saying I can get out and look at everything from the big picture. It's all about communication, guys. It's all it is. In any relationship, personal relationship, business relationship, if the communication is strong and honest, it's there. And there will be some people that have a real bad time with that. And I think you should question whether or not they're a good fit. And that's all I'll say. Maybe that's not the case. Maybe it is. If you have someone that's constantly creating a stink about something and it's making you feel that way, Leon, I don't know if that's the case. I'm just generally speaking here. It might be the conversation of, is this person a good fit for where we're trying to go? And that's a different conversation for a different time, but what do you think about that? I think it's just communication.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah, but that is your strength. And I think you need that. And again, you don't really even need to offer an explanation, Valentino. Unfortunately, sometimes that's the case. You are the boss, and it's like, if that's the decision you make, that's the decision you make. And if people don't like and understand and know your heart and your intention at this point in time, which you're probably the best business owner to work for in the world, besides me. I'm kidding. Just because I know that you have compassion and care and you put the team first and all this stuff, bro. If they don't really understand your intention and your heart about business in terms of that, again, maybe refer back to what I said about maybe them not being a good fit.
Yeah. Thank you, Tanner. Appreciate it. Go pick up the kids,
you guys rock, man. Yeah, let's jump on again sometime. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. We'll stay in touch. Thank you so much.
God bless.
You too. Take care.
Dripjobs CRM is finally here. That's right. So Dripjobs is an automation platform for contractors, home service professionals that's going to automatically follow up with your customers. It's going to allow you to send invoices, estimates. It's going to allow you to send out blast marketing emails to individuals based on where they are in the buying process. This software is next level. And I'm reaching out to you. You're a listener of this podcast, and I want you to be one of the first ones to give it a shot. So if you want to see what Dripjobs can do for your business, I'd love for you to head over to dripjobs.com, sign up for a free demo, and get your team involved, and let us sit with you and show you how powerful this software is. It's going to save you time, it's going to make you money, and you're going to love the features that are built into Dripjobs. So if you want to check it out, head over to dripjobs.com, and we will give you first priority being a podcast listener to be one of the very first to try out Dripjobs in your home service business. I'm super excited to share that with you, and I'll catch you on the next episode.